As duas mesas que se seguem, elas se complementam, né? Agora é para a gente falar um pouco de como sustentar e organizar uma rede de pesquisas, questões de pesquisas para projetos futuros, os desafios. A gente vem falando isso desde o início desse workshop, né? E acredito que essa última mesa que a gente teve sobre carreira trouxe muitas questões que se complementam aqui. Então, eu vou passar a palavra para a Katherine, que ela vai apresentar aqui grandes questões, depois a gente sintetiza, a gente já vai inscrevendo, porque logo na sequência a gente vai discutir o financiamento. Katherine.
Thank you, Fabiola. So I was trying to, can everyone hear me okay? Yep. During today, I was taking notes and also just reflecting yesterday for this roundtable about sustainability of our research networks. And I just have a few thoughts. I've been very conscious that as we've heard more about understanding the research and the realities, colleagues at UFES and working in Brazil, researching in Brazil have shared, how it would be so great to link with other colleagues at our university, because I'm very aware that we have a research centre focused on agroecology. We have a research centre on trust, peace and social relations. We have courses on childhood, youth and education studies. We have a centre focused on post-digital cultures. And so it just strikes me that there's so many more colleagues to connect in ways that would be fruitful. And some of that is about, you know, extending the network. I've learned so much personally about, you know, how what we've talked about here can inform our research in the centre, because within our own research centre, we're a strand of our work with another colleague, Dr. Quayan Dang, is very much looking at educational policy and new imaginaries around higher education. We have a professor of gender and inclusion studies. We have Professor Julia Carroll, who's focused on the attainment gap and the education ecosystem leading into university. And so I think because of what we've heard, it just makes me want to do more connecting and networking that would be fruitful. I also was thinking very much about this community of practice, and we've spoke about reading and writing groups. And we have a decolonisation staff network at Coventry, which Ariola has been very much a lead and part of, and a reading group. And that's been very much for Coventry, but it strikes me it would be very fruitful to look at ways to extend those types of groups and staff networks, making them available across our partners, if that were of value. And also, we're working very much on decolonisation and border theories with colleagues in South Africa, and what we're learning about their realities and education context. And so it just made me think there's some wonderful opportunity for us connecting across wider geographical partner in some of these communities of practice. I was thinking very much about the pedagogies of hope and research and living pedagogies of hope. And I wanted to share that we've been looking at a new master's program, which will be very transdisciplinary. And these are just ideas at the moment about a very open, connected master's module that would bring together transdisciplinary researchers. And it's very much around embodied inquiry. And it struck me that this seemed to be a focus we were picking up with Professor Edna and other colleagues. And here again, maybe a unique opportunity to draw together experience across our disciplines to to re-examine that relationship of our humanness to nature, and bringing together, you know, how as people we're intimately being shaped by wider structures and how we move and experience through those different structures, and alongside non-Western forms of research, for grounding reflexivity, for grounding self-awareness, embodied inquiries. And I think this brings in, you know, these pedagogies of care, pedagogies of hope, teaching with community. And it seemed to just be ideas around what some of our colleagues have really brought to light and shared. So I can see a lot of themes, a lot of potential networks, more people to connect. And I think, you know, we all have to come together now in this next piece to think about our ideas for these types of areas of focus, which can start from reading and writing groups, which could start from ideas of developing master's programs together. We've got our dual award PhD to progress and bring in ideas and workshops into a cohort approach within that regard going forward. So yeah, they were just some early ideas of different learning spaces. I think my connection is dropping in and out, so I apologize if that didn't all come together. But one other key thing I also had here was about neurodiversity. And I really picked that up from yesterday's discussion around pedagogies of care in virtual spaces. And I think we've a lot more to do with addressing educational responsibility in collaborative online spaces, as well as in, you know, the classroom space. So that was another key area for me to extend our research, especially into COIL practices. So sorry, I'll hand over.
Você quer fazer intervenção? Deixa eu só fazer uma síntese da fala da Katherine. Bem rápido, que a professora já entrou aí, né? Que a professora Márcia. Bom, a gente vinha conversando, né? E acho que agora chegou a hora da finalização do nosso workshop, que vamos colocar em prática o verbo esperançar aí, né? Ou seja, de ver as possibilidades daquilo que de fato pode se concretizar. Os desafios, nós estamos falando deles desde o primeiro bom dia, do primeiro dia ou do pré-evento, né? As dificuldades e tudo mais, a gente tem falado muito, porque é uma coisa muito concreta para nós viver muito mais os desafios do que as possibilidades. Então, acho que nessas duas mesas finais agora, a gente podia retomar isso, né? O que é fruto, o que pode vir a ser fruto, o que pode vir a ser encaminhado, considerando os cenários das realidades diferentes que temos. Eu me lembro de algum momento a professora Elisa falar, né, dessa resistência, e o tempo inteiro a gente está falando de resistências. Eu acho que fazer um seminário desse também está nesse campo, né, de resistir e fazer o contraponto, tentar fazer uma contra-hegemonia a tudo que está colocado, principalmente ao nosso campo da área das ciências sociais humanas, né? Que tem sido tão atacado aí com o negacionismo e tudo mais. E aí a professora Katherine nos dá, né, umas ideias de todas as questões que apareceram aqui, indígenas, questões ambientais, as questões sociais relacionadas às diversas políticas públicas e os programas governamentais e não governamentais, as questões de gênero, questão racial, porque é transversal, e a educação, em tudo aquilo que cabe dentro da educação, trazendo aí a linha da pedagogia da esperança, enfim. Falou da experiência dos grupos de leitura, que Coventry já faz, que pode ser uma possibilidade, expandir a ideia de um mestrado transdisciplinar, intercambiar pesquisadores, né? E aí, agora acho que a gente precisa discutir o como fazer tudo isso, assim, quais as possibilidades, como conectar mais pessoas, como trilhar esses caminhos de expandir essas redes, né? E as perguntas agora, elas vão muito, penso eu, né, de tudo que eu ouvi nesses 3, 4 dias, da gente sintetizar.